Welcome back to another video, guys. Thanks for joining in. Today we're going to be installing some dynamic turn signals for your S3. I believe this will work on the A3, the S3, and correct me if I'm wrong, the RS3 as well. But if you guys want to update the look of your vehicle and you want to match the fronts with the backs, stay tuned, guys. We're going to be installing that, and very simple. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so like I was saying, this is a very inexpensive piece. I actually bought this off of AliExpress for about, I would like to say about $44 USD. It did take a little bit to get shipped over here, but at the end of the day, for the low price point, it was really worth it for the price and the quality as well. There are actually two different models for this. There is one with a clear lens, and there's one with a slightly tinted lens. So I opted to get the one with the slightly tinted lens. I think it looks a lot cleaner, especially on a darker car. I found that from some of the pictures, the clear lens looked a little bit cheap. So in my recommendation, I'll show you what it looks like on the car, but the tinted lens is definitely the way to go if you're gonna be picking this up. So when I bought it, I think it was listed as the S3 A3. As you know, same basic chassis, body, pretty much a lot of interchangeable parts, if not identical parts for the A3, S3, and some with the RS3. This is what it came in. Let's just open this up real quick. Alright, so in here we do have the two scrolling LED turn signals, as well as it did come with a little pry tool, which you're going to need when you pry open the when you try to pry open the mirror lenses. So very easy, guys. It seems a little intimidating because, you know, a lot of people are afraid that they're going to crack their glass when they pry open the mirror, but it's very simple to do. You just got to be careful, and I'm going to show you guys how exactly it's done. First thing that we are going to do, we're going to go inside and tilt the mirror so the edge of the glass has a bit of a gap for us to use the pry tool. Okay, we're going to use my own pry tool to get this glass taken out here. So you just have to make sure you hold it steady when you pry it open. It simply comes out like that. Sometimes there are clips all around. It's in a circular pattern. All the clips are all around, so make sure that all the clips are free before you pull the whole thing off here. Okay? Okay, so there we go. We pried it successfully. This is what I mentioned with all the clips around. So now that it's hanging off here, you can kind of just let it dangle safely, and we're gonna get some of these screws out so that we can open the assembly. So when we get the mirror actually off, you're going to take all the screws that are in place in the housing. They're all T10s, including the main screw that holds the motor in. The only screws you do not need to take out are the ones that are attached to these like metallic clips. You just leave those in, but every other T10 screw, just take it out, and we should be able to remove this trim piece here. Don't be too concerned if the screws fall into the assembly, just because you're going to be opening up anyway and you're going to have access to it. Okay, so that is the main motor out. So how we're going to free the actual trim from the housing is we're going to pull on this this lip of the trim here forward, and the outer end should unclip itself here. Okay, to pry this off, and yep, it just comes right out. And if you want, you can place everything to the side, but to be honest, it is quite easy to just install this with it hanging. If you'd like to unplug this, there's a clip right here. You just open it up, pull it right off, and same thing with the heated mirrors. You just pull these tabs off and reapply it. So we can move this off, and now this plate should come right off. So there are inner clips all around. You just pull towards you. Just be very careful. Obviously you need to apply a little bit of force to get it off, but obviously just be very gentle. So the way this comes off, I just pulled it a little bit towards me to unclip the back, and then you can push it forward and lift up. And you can unclip this. This is for the dynamic, sorry, not the dynamic, this is for the rear view mirror, side mirror sensors if the car is in there. Unclip that, and we can start working away at the actual turn signal. So how you get the turn signal disconnected, there's actually a little connection right here that you can just push the tab in and pull it right out. So it's just a push clip, you just push it in and it should come right out. Okay, so there's the plug. And on the other side, just behind here, there is one more screw that attaches the turn signal into the housing. That is another T10. So we'll take that off. Okay, so that's off. And at this point, this should lift right up. Just make sure it's clear. It's really hard to see, but once you've taken out the screw on the top corner here, there's actually small tabs that are holding this in place. So just, you know, free them up a little bit and you should get leverage to pull this up. So that's one clip. It should pull up. There's another one here. There we go. We can start lifting this out. So just slightly pry all the clips around the actual turn signal, and voila, it comes right out, guys. Here is a quick comparison of the original, which is of a clear lens, and is just a simple one LED in the corner, which kind of gets reflected across here, and it turns on all at once. Now here's the aftermarket piece that we got. As you can see, it is tinted. I think it gives a really clean look for a dark colored car. Alright, now to install the new piece, since the tabs are free here, it is simply just a drop-in. You just drop it in place and it should clip right in. All clipped in. What I would do now is just plug this back into the turn signal. Okay, now that that is in, all we have to do is put in the one screw in the corner to secure the turn signal onto the housing. Okay, so the first step to putting this all back together is once the turn signal is secured, just hold on to these and we can line up the trim where the housing where they're supposed to screw in. So do that first, line it up. Once they're lined up, you can put in the screws, the supporting screws, put those all in, and once that is in, we can now put the rear cap back on. Alright guys, so now to put the actual mirror cap back on. So first thing I need to note is on the actual mirror cap, near the actual indicator, there is a small peg in the corner right here. You just have to make sure that when you put this back in, you align it with the corner where that peg fits in right here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ensure that we plug in the indicator, and I'm going to make sure that the corner is in. So the technique that I use is I try to connect this side first. So like I said, there's a peg here, and there's also like a little, like a C-clip here. If you get a better look on this side, there is actually, let's see if I can get a better look here. There's actually a hole over here that C-clip has to go into. So align this side first, which will make life a lot easier. And then everything can just kind of snap into place after that. So you just have to use a little bit of force. And everything should pop back into place. Just make sure this side part is aligned here. And then just kind of press them together a little bit. Don't be too afraid, guys. As long as that peg is in and that C-clip is in the correct position, just put a little bit of force and everything should snap right back together. Now with that in, the last thing we need to do is just reattach the mirror. There are little pegs here that go right into the metal brackets. So use that as a guide. And literally just use equal force on both sides of the mirror just to get the mirror back in. Alright, so let's give this a quick test. There you go. Alright guys, that pretty much concludes the end of this video. Pretty simple install. Just make sure you're a little bit careful when you're putting the back mirror cap back on. The most important part of that is to actually get that corner in first and then gently push in the rest that they align with the clips. So just follow the same steps for the other side and you are good to go. I'm going to link the product where I bought from AliExpress, probably the link in the description below. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And if you like the content and want to see more, please consider subscribing right here. And guys, we will catch you on the next one. Have a good one.